other tab. There we go. Let's beat that bitch. Okay. Let's check and see if we're on the internet. Oh boy. All right, somebody else start talking.
Words talking.
Blah 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 blah.
Ooh.
Did you know that cats have sensory organs on the top of their lips that look like tiny tentacles?
Who
I
fucking
love
said
it.
that?
They're on the inside. If you like gently flip the top of their lip, you can see them. They don't like it when you flip their lip, but they're very cute.
I'm so checking Google out right now. This sounds intriguing.
My cat is napping in the other room.
Run him down. Get him.
No,
Live
He'll show up.
comparison.
he will show up. Don't worry. In his own time.
I mean, we could expedite it. All you gotta do is find the treat bag and, give that a little
Yeah.
shake.
He's just mad at me because I slept all day because I'm working nights now.
Checking a treat bag in our house to get you shanked. Our animals are vicious.
Good shit, Lane.
What was it? I couldn't read it.
So a friend gave it to me at Gen Con. It's a Glen Moraine. It's a single
Oh.
malt Scotch whiskey.
Very nice. If this one's loud for you, this would be playlist.
It's a good scotch.
I don't hear a damn thing.
I hear it now.
Oh fuck, you got your 100%. I still don't hear it very well. There we go. Never mind.
Oh, it's the normal tavern music. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a party before we die. Got it.
Yeah, we're not. It appears that we are on the internet.
Woohoo!
Hot dog.
The single greatest and worst at the same time creation that man has ever created.
Not wrong.
Move my people's cameras around. Because, I don't have a big enough screen.
Obviously.
I do want to know how you do more than 2 screens at one time, because I've wanted to do that for a while.
It's easy. I've got 3.
It is easy.
You just have to you plug each one into a different computer.
Oh,
Do you have more than one computer?
No, I don't.
Well,
I don't.
You
Maybe that's
fucking
my
asshole. You, because of your streaming computer, should have more than one monitor input. You just use a. I have 4 on my graphics card.
So do I.
I've got 2 graphics cards and I have each, and then there's these 2 other things on there.
oh, you're good. Just get a splitter then.
Mine got 1 standard and 3 of the other. I forget what they're called.
Oh my
1
gosh!
HDMI, and I forget what the other one's called.
Never take advice from Wilford. All right, well, let's jump into today's super cool totally not going to be a TPK. Very first game / episode of Tyranny Dragons and Mythical Rollers. Yay!
Checking the life insurance.
Oh, life insurance policies in D&D. That's hilarious.
You know,
Wow.
that might not
Don't
be
worry.
a bad gig to be a life insurance agent.
In Dungeons and Dragons.
Public clerk.
Your characters would sure carry a heavy premium.
Wow. All right. Well, for you guys are either in the Mercenary Guild or the Adventurers Guild whenever you accepted this quest. It's an either or, it's not a both. The big difference in my Faerun is that Adventure Guild is the ones who are mostly attacking beast creatures or going out to the woods to find the typical get the 10 of those herbs and come back kind of quests.
So typical anime style Adventures Guild.
Basically, yeah. And the Mercenaries Guild is usually the ones who protect caravans against other humanoid creatures. In other words, you are expected to defend yourself and others against, death for other things. Sometimes there are quests that go to both because at some point both are one particular job could mingle in both pots. So this particular quest does mingle in both pots. So it's up to you if you were in the Adventurers Guild or the Mercenaries Guild whenever you picked up this this particular quest. Where is my... No, not that. Where that? Damn it!
I don't know about everybody else, but it would fit Floral and our background better if we were in the Adventurers Guild.
I'll be adventurous. Makes more sense for Ivy.
Sure.
I didn't think about that whenever we were writing our backgrounds.
It's all good. It's something that I posted in Discord. I mean, kind of late, like after we had already started doing some things. So it's, it's 100% okie dokie. But something to ponder now is whether you would be in one or the other. Where is this gosh darn thing I'm looking for?
Do we all have to come from the same guild?
No, because this
Okay.
particular quest went to both. So you did not have to come from the you did not have to all come from the adventurers or all come from the mercenaries. However, you all would be coming from Baldur's Gate. So wherever your starting point is, your starting point for now, for this particular thing, is that you came to Baldur's Gate, you joined whichever one of these groups, and decided to accept the particular quest, which in this case is you are guarding a caravan as it goes from Baldur's Gate to Candlekeep, and then Burgost, and then to the Mountains for collecting some rare crystals that have been found in some mines before coming back to Baldur's Gate. So that's that particular road, the coastway, has been known to be a little bit dangerous, as the Woods of Sharp Teeth and the Cloakwood are pretty decent hiding spots for not only humanoid bandits, but some some others as well, whether that be kobold or other bestial humanoid in nature. But that in particular is why this is both. It's both protecting the caravan, plus whenever you guys do get to the mountains, the adventurers would then help with the getting of the materials, and should there be more than just humanoids, killing bears and things is right up an adventurer's alley. So, whom are my adventurers?
That'll probably be me and Floral. Also,
All right.
Ivy.
All right. So, would the three of you ladies know each other?
Probably a little bit at least.
Would you have adventured already together? Or would this be your first adventure together?
For Ivy, this is her first adventure ever. She's still learning things. She just got to Baldur's Gate and decided to come on this fun adventure because of course it's going to be fun, right?
Okay.
for Floral and I would say we've been traveling together, but this is probably our first official. We got an adventure through the guild, and
I mean, it sounds like easy work, right? You protect a caravan from bears and other things, and once you get to the Mountains, you just gather up some super cool crystals, maybe pocket one or two for yourselves, who knows, and then get back to Baldur's Gate. Seems pretty simple. For this particular adventure, assuming that the task goes well, you will be paid 100 gold. All of the expenses as far as food stuff are covered by the wagon. The wagon itself, the wagon team will provide food and water, as well as the occasional non-watery drink on the trip. So you don't necessarily have to worry about rations and things on your own, but having a couple in your pack is always good. But yeah, you're going to get paid 100 gold upon completion. About when you get to is when you're going to get paid half. And then when you get back from the mountains of you're going to get the other half. So it's when you get halfway, you get paid half. When you finish the job, you get paid the other half. And then I guess that means the rest of you are murder motherfuckers. I mean, Mercenaries Guild. Have you all? Do you guys already? Do you other tree know each other and have done anything together?
I'm gonna go with I'm relatively green yet. Maybe not my first mission, but still new to this, and I'll say that I will actively avoid Atticus.
Okay.
Atticus is going to take quite the shine to Darwin and do everything he can to teach him the ways. Following him around camp. And, I'm seasoned. I'm a seasoned man for you, Darwin.
That's sweet that you're fanboying on him.
Oh man. And Wilford, how about you?
I am new to the group, so no, I would not be familiar with Atticus or Darwin.
Okay. Well, in that case, just like what the adventuring post was, the mercenary group has the same post. with a slight difference being that you're mainly there for protecting the caravan itself and not actively expected to partake in the job duties at the Mountains of more to protect those people while they are working there as well. Like you guys you're the hired muscly guns. You're there to make sure other people don't do stupid shit against this particular caravan. For you guys will be paid 150 gold upon completion. 75 whenever you get there, and the rest whenever you get back. So when you get to the Mountains, you'll get paid half, and then getting back to Baldur's Gate, you get paid the other half. But just like the adventuring groups, for you guys, same thing. The food and water and occasional alcoholic drink are provided. This particular wagoning team is very strict as far as making sure everybody is alert and conscious. So when there is drinking allowed, it's shifts, not everybody at once. And so that's part of whatever was written on the request. So on both requests, it basically says that on the southern at the southern gate of Baldur's Gate, which is past and around the docks themselves. Baldur's Gate being so packed that wagons just do not fit anyway. The streets are just not wide enough for it. You're all expected to be at the southern gate before the sun reaches its peak. So it's up to you how soon you get there as far as the morning time, if you are an early riser or not. But if anybody is trying to be there after the high peak, you get left behind. They give no fucks. So let's start with Flora. Flora, when do you get there?
Probably about 30-45 minutes earlier than I'm supposed to be. So that I could help anybody out that needs helping, or like moving boxes and stuff, because I'm tall and strong.
Sure.
So
by when you're supposed to be, because this is, do you mean before the sun is at its peak, or like super early morning? Because you had a window.
Probably before the sun's at its peak. Juniper's a bit of an early riser.
Okay. And by extension, because the two of you are pods and a pea, Hirome would be about the same time.
Yeah, Hirome won't be too far from Juniper.
Kind of what I thought. Juniper, why don't you go ahead and explain what you look like for the rest of us?
So I'm about, if I remember correctly, 7.5 feet tall. I have light blue skin and white hair, and heterochromia. One eye is green, one eye is blue. And I'm a druid.
So, like, are you wearing a long cloak? Do you have on leather armor? Carry a staff?
Yeah. She wears leather armor. It's just easier for her to move around in. And she uses... Oh, hello, Banshee. She prefers to use hand axes. but she does have 2 daggers in her belt, just in case.
Interesting. A druid that doesn't use a staff but goes hand axe. Interesting.
Well, she figured she should use her mask to her advantage, so.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Hiromi, what do you look like?
Hiromi is 4'5". On the small side.
The image there cracks me up. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. Continue.
All things are taken into consideration. She has long white hair, piercing blue eyes, and 3 very noticeable fluffy tails, with 2 very noticeable soft white ears on top of her head. She wears black leather armor, no cloak, carries a short sword.
All right. Well, Ivy, when do you think you would be arriving?
Probably about, mid-morning because there's so much to see. And I need to see it all.
All right. Explain to us what Ivy looks like.
Let's see how we can do on this. So, Ivy's got, she's 5 feet tall, and she's got deep green skin with bright green eyes, and this strawberry blondish, slightly orangish hair with the really pretty, crown of ivy on her head. That's just that's how she got her name. Aunt just said so. She just kind of has lots of her clothes kind of look like they're patched together from various different skins over the years, and she has lots of plants and stuff hanging out in pockets.
Very, very interesting. Pockets, huh?
Pockets is, yes, I know. Some things. She's so excited about everything that I'm sure she's paying great attention to her own stuff.
All right. So then, let's go with Wilford. Wilford, when would you be arriving?
Well, Wilford would show up mid-morning is when he would show up. He's not exactly the most ambitious, but he does like coin. So he wants to secure a good spot on the most comfy wagon.
Oh man, and what does Wilford look like?
Wilford looks like something that's crawled out from under a rock. He's I'm about 4'9" with 190-ish pounds, we'll say. Look dwarven in appearance. Real pale skin. Have studded armor that has shown signs of previous battle. I carry a dagger and a warhammer. The warhammer has insignia carved on it, and got a long flowing red beard. Sort of like, I don't know, if you took James Frazier and put him in the washer and shrunk him in the dryer. That's kind of what Wilford would look like.
That analogy way more than I should have.
Okay.
Googling who James Frazier is.
He's a Outlander.
I've got words I could say, but I'm told I can't say them.
Judge, when would you show up?
Put the whiskey down for this one. Atticus would make sure he showed up right as the sun came over the horizon, and he'd make sure the sun was to his back to silhouette himself. Before he arrived, he'd make sure there'd also be some dust kicking across the road in front of him. You'd hear a chicken off into the distance going, you know, that typical Western wow, wow, wow.
Of course. Classic.
Naturally. As he comes taking steps towards the caravan, and all you hear is the chink, chink, chink of what you think could be spurs, but he's got no boots. He's got little reptilian feet, and on the back toe claws, he's got these little bells fastened to sound like spurs as he walks, wearing a long, dark brown trench coat and a large, wide-brim black cowboy hat. All you see underneath is just this long, dark bronze copper reptilian snout, teeth, and then the occasional orange glow as he sucks in on this massive, fat cigar sticking out the side of his mouth, and these piercing blue eyes. He's about 6.5 feet tall, weighs roughly 15 stone, or 200 and some pounds. And he walks very slowly with a purposeful gait, without turning his head side to side, but he notices and sees everyone.
Let's see. Well, you at least think you notice everybody. What color are your scales?
What you see, and all you can see, is his feet and his nose, and it's like a dark copperish color.
Very nice. Very nice.
He's got a gold tooth.
Okay. Well, I guess Darvin there.
Well, I
When
guess
do you
I'll arrive.
finally show up?
I guess I'll arrive about an hour before we're supposed to leave. I'll just nonchalantly stride out from the gate. Obviously, I was staying somewhere inside the city. I'll look around, locate where the group is supposed to be, the caravan. I'll head over that way. I will then stand around for just a slight minute or two before getting bored and finding a crate to, flop my happy ass onto. At which point I will pull out a whetstone and start sharpening my battle axe. I look like about a 6-foot tall human who's got some very rudimentary leather armor on. I also carry a shield and a battle axe. I also have a couple hand axes hung from my belt. I have messy brown hair and beard, green eyes. Other than that, I look fairly unkempt and kind of look like a wild man from the hills, if you didn't know any better.
Huh.
Grizzly Adams.
So you look like Atticus. Got it.
The
The player, not the character.
Yes, I look like Atticus's player. Which is actually funny because I didn't realize I had done that until someone said, "Hey, your in-game character looks like Atticus," and I was just like, "Huh, you're right." And now everybody's zooming in on my character token. At
Mhm.
least
Very good.
Guys, I'm gonna have to step away for a few minutes.
Yeah, go for it.
Um,
Do what you gotta do.
I'll be right back.
First of all, we are not at no midnight-ish. Just as a reminder, some of the macros you're probably going to want to have on your hot bar, the death saving throw, which is the broken heart. I don't think this group will get heavy into dangerous role play, but there is a macro that's called God's RP check-in. It looks like 3 dragons talking to each other, 3 purple dragons. That's just a basic green, yellow, red communication of you don't even see the hot bar. What?
No,
I see
it's
the
not
hot
there.
bar. How do you not see the?
My game
how do you
says
not-
Like
it's
moved
ours.
everybody around. I don't see a hot.
Yeah,
Not
if
where
I
it is in other games.
There's not a hot bar down at the bottom.
no, I
Nope.
don't see it either.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's
I'm so glad somebody else
confusing.
could see it. I was panicking.
Why
I'm like, I
can
normally know where
I-
it is, but I definitely don't see it.
I was combing through my settings, like I know it's here
I'm like,
somewhere.
Exactly. I'm like,
Is
did I
the
need-
little
the
folder
setting?
thing not there?
Nope, it's not there either.
Nope.
It's all gone.
What?
A mercy
Mhm.
token would make up for that bit of panic attack I just had.
Where's
Wow.
the damn hot bar? Where is something sidebar macros right there? Hide hot bar is unchecked. So what if I check it, hit save, and then go back in here and hit uncheck and save? Does it bring it back for everybody?
Mm-mm.
All right, well, this would be weird. Go to configure settings. So top right hand game settings. That's the ampersand, and then configure settings, and see if you have access to something called sidebar macros. Ooh, seeing a shaky.
Affirmative,
Uh,
sir.
I
Back.
don't.
You
For
found
me,
it?
it was hidden. All I had to do
Oh,
was
there it is.
uncheck it.
Huh.
Yeah, uncheck the hide macro hotbar thing.
It's there now.
Boom.
That's weird.
Life is better.
There we go. Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, broken heart, 3 purple dragons talking to each other, and the screaming face. Screaming face is the whisper, quick, easy way to whisper. The 3 dragons again are a stoplight situation of green, yellow, red. Green being you're happy for the roleplay, even though it's kind of intense. Yellow means it's kind of intense. We could please start rolling it back. And red being stop, oh stop, oh stop, I'm gonna murder you. Those are the 3 I totes recommend. Alt W will bring up the Whisper gizmo. And if you're super fancy, Alt R will bring it up and have it checked for the last person that whispered to you. I don't like using that because I always do Control W and close everything. So I
That would
like
be my
having it
luck.
on the hotbar. Pushing E should slide the section on the left over to see your abilities. That's E as in Edward. You can push C as in character for your character sheet. And then, yeah, I think that's it for the super cool stuffs. As far as shortcuts, how to use them. But as everybody starts, showing up and to this particular caravan, there are 4 wagons in this. This is pretty big. There are more people who, wow, Dan's just already murdering. Wow, and Judge is dead.
Sorry, I was just
You were just
testing.
killing him.
Just tested.
You were
Making
just
sure
murdering.
he's able to kill him.
Wow, this is what I get for having the game paused. Fix that.
Violence is the answer.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, god damn it. Four wagons. One of them being a wagon that seems really heavily weighted down with a lot of like pots and pans and stonework on the inside. It's such a heavy wagon that it has oxen pulling it instead of horses like the other three do. Oh man. I assume he's okay?
He's fine.
Okay.
What's left of the car's up in my driveway. I'll go. It's
So there are more people involved in like moving things and making sure there's enough provisions for the trip. There's also, I mean, part of why you're going down the path that you are is that there's a delivery for Candlekeep. According to the woman in charge, at least the one who's barking orders, which is a really tall Goliath woman that has sideways. She has a sideways lightning bolt tattoo that goes from her right eye corner across her face. Her hair are in dreadlocks pulled back into a tail that just a twined hair tail that comes down even wrapped bunned up, comes down just past their shoulders. They are a little over 7 feet tall, relatively well built. They wear very short cloth armor, like a light hide, not full hide, just bits and pieces of hide. So there is like her stomach is showing about mid calf down shows, and what bits of and her biceps and arms, like all that you can see, and there are obviously old scars all over this particular woman. Whenever you get to, she's the one who lets you know that whenever you get to fairly certain somebody sent me the correct way to pronounce this town, Bear Ghost or some shit. Bear Ghost. Whenever we get to Bear Ghost, that an inn is provided. It should take about 2 days to get from Baldur's Gate to Candlekeep, and then half a day to get to Bear Ghost, and then another 2 days to get to the mine itself at the lower section of the Alm Mountains. So overall, you're probably looking at a 10-day or so, depending on things, of round trip. There are obviously other mercenaries adventurers who took this up because, again, it's pretty good size team of wagons here that's going. So is there anything any of you would like to do before the wagon team starts moving? Oh, the Goliath woman's name is Zea. Z-E-A. Nope.
No, sir.
Nope, just taking everything in.
Then
Are you Go
ahead.
I guess I would want to check and make sure that Hiromi and Ivy are there. Make sure that nobody got left behind.
Give me a perception check. I guess it helps unpause the game, huh?
Unless Wilfred starts, randomly attacking people again.
Her first roll.
Wow, first roll. Make
it's not
sure
pathetic.
that you're in your chat. You have the drop down from private to public, so that everybody can see how amazing of a roll that was. Juniper, you are panicking because usually Hiromi is well within eyesight, or if they're not, they usually let you know where they're stalking, so that you have at least a general idea of direction. But you have been so involved in moving things that as you finish helping and you look around, you don't see Ivy, you don't see Hiromi. You're like, what? Where is the people that I know? What do you do?
Panic. Because Hiromi has my enormous backpack, and there's no way that short stack is moving it. And I'm very concerned about Ivy because she seemed a little naive, a little wonderstruck about the world. I'm worried that she got stolen by somebody. And I just look around, and in Juniper's enormous panic, just shouts at the top of her lungs, Hiromi and Ivy, get your short stack butts here right now!
Oh man, that is hilarious. Ivy, Hiromi, go ahead and give me active perception checks with advantage, please.
Perception with advantage.
Jeez, I'm glad we're getting these out of the way.
Don't worry, I'm talking to the plants on the side of the road, the grass, to make sure that it's okay and nobody stepped on it today.
Hiromi, you recognize that panic voice. And as you start looking around, because the panic voice did call for you and Ivy, you see Ivy just sitting on the ground, petting some grass, totally oblivious to the world around them, who clearly did not hear Juniper.
I am just going to kind of pounce up behind Ivy and just lay my head on her shoulder and be like, Juniper's calling.
But I was talking to the grass.
I don't know that.
That's what I just say to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
She's panicking again.
Why? Doesn't make sense. Anyway, okay,
That's what she does.
I'm gonna look around for this other person that I've met and need to make sure is not panicking, because panic is bad. That's how you die.
And then I'm going to sit back on top of the large backpack that I can't carry and just, I guess, shout back, over here.
Juniper, you clearly hear Hiromi. And then you like do one of the face palms. Of course Hiromi can't move the backpack. They're over right next to it. But really, you were looking way up here. You forgot to look down.
A very common problem for Juniper. She forgets that other people don't have her field of vision.
Checks out. You find them. They are clearly there. And yeah, you found your people. The caravan begins moving right just a couple of minutes, maybe just past when the sun is at its peak, at its highest, with the oxen leading the way with that heavy set wagon going. Zia, excuse me, walking with it off to its left-hand side. There are a few other mercenary adventuring types that are walking around with the caravan. Each wagon already has a driver for it, and I mean they have the wagon team has their own people like sitting up there, so you guys are expected to have to trot along with, at least until one of the wagons empties before anybody could have any sort of a ride. However, luckily or not, the oxen don't move that first wagon very fast because it is heavy. It's got strange pots and pans and stonework on the inside. Throughout the first leg of your journey, leaving Baldur's Gate, having to cross over the Chianthar River, hitting the coastway officially, with the Cloak Woods off to your right, coming into the distance. Is there anything anybody would like to do at this time? I'm going to take that as a resounding no. As the wagon train continues. After about 6 hours of travel, you all get to about the halfway point between Baldur's Gate and Candlekeep, or at least you think so, because you can see the Cloak Woods to your right very resoundingly, and to your left, a few hundred feet, you can see the Wood of Sharp Teeth. And the Wood of Sharp Teeth being a much bigger wood forest area than the Cloakwood. As the wagons start pulling off of the main flat road to just getting out of the way, because the coastway, while not perhaps as busy as some of the other roads between big towns, it is one of the ways from the Mountains to the north, the rest of the Sword Coast area of Faerun. So pulling off and over, you can hear Zia giving out instructions for pulling out provisions for the evening, and setting up a fire, getting in, and just generalized like camp instructions. And yeah, so like their own people, their own workers are actively like, again, getting the wagons over, unhitching the oxen and the horses and putting the feed bags on them, making sure there are buckets of water available for them, as one of the wagons has provisions for the trips. You guys are able to see that some of the workers are collecting provisions from that wagon and taking it over to the heavier wagon. And what all would you guys like to do?
I am going to stand around the perimeter and watch and listen for anything coming through the woods or up the trail.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a head count, make sure I know where Ivy is, make sure I know where Hiromi is, and stare longingly at the snack cart.
Okay. Okay.
Are there trees where we're camping?
No.
That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stare longingly at the trees.
You said that the wood of sharp teeth is only like couple hundred feet away, right?
It's a few 100 feet away.
Well, I'm gonna wander
Let's
over
see.
that
Does
way.
this have? This does not have a gosh darn legend on it. Why the fuck would it? See if I can find a better map so that I can tell you exactly how far away. Because I'm sure that's not going to come into needing here. Blah 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 blah.
I am just going to be dashing around, watching everybody with like this whimsical, childlike wonder, like she's seeing everything for the first time.
Okay.
If there's any like plants around, like flowers or anything, or like I don't know, even weeds, I'm gonna pick some fun stuff that's around, just because you never know when you're gonna need things.
Fair. Come on, this one's got to have a gosh darn map, right? Really? No?
Looking for a map of Faerun?
One that's got a distance thing. Before they merged it to Tyranny, Horde of the Dragon Queen did have a map because I ran this when they were separate.
Yeah. This one has a mileage map thing on the bottom left. The one I just dropped in Tyranny chat.
Open in the browser. Has it in miles? Okay.
A wood of sharp teeth is gonna be pretty damn far away.
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah.
be pretty far away. But it's flatland here, so you'd be able to see it, but
That's still way.
super far
Really good
away.
map that they run, but it's not gridded or anything.
Gosh.
Super far.
I'm gonna forage around.
Okay. Thank you for that map.
Of course.
What's Judge doing?
Judge is gonna just find some place where he can just kind of find a wagon that's not got nobody around it much and lean up against it with his hat tilted down, and he's just gonna keep an eye on that Darwin fella, puffing away on his cigar.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Juniper, you know where Hiromi and Ivy are. You been keeping tabs. You can see as Ivy, walking around and constantly bending down and talking to a flowering weed here and a bit of grass there, and just asking them how their day is and how are they doing, what their names are, and you're
Mm-hmm. Permission to pick a few here and there, things.
But Juniper, after it doesn't take long, right? Like camp is getting set up, fires being started. They're there are some really good smells coming out of that heavy wagon that they brought provisions over and into. And as your nose kind of tickles with tantalizing deliciousness, the left side of the wagon, the part that is facing the woods that are far away, that section of tarp, you can see Zaya going over, undoing something, and then it being rolled up, not all the way, like up and over, but maybe about 3/4 of the way. It gets kind of rolled up and tied up at the top. And then the smells really just waft out as Zia starts getting this table together, and then you can see her reaching up towards a huge stack of wooden plates, just grabbing them and bringing them down, and then again stack of wooden cups. Pulls down a couple of pitchers, and she's reaching up and into the side of the wagon as these things are being pushed over, like off to the side, and she's just grabbing and setting up this table of cutlery, basically, as though it's almost dinner time. What do you do? Anything?
Did I find anything?
She's having Discord issues. Give her a second.
Okay. Darvin, give me a survival roll for your search.
Super average.
That's what you find, Darvin.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I'll just pocket that for now.
Okay. So
Doesn't-
you do pick it up and put it
doesn't
away.
Seem edible. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
pick it up and put it away.
All right. Good enough. Good enough. After about 30 or so minutes, the rest of you are noticing this really good smell. The smell, and your stomach start to rumble. Like, this is, by golly, super tasty smelling. And it's kind of sweet, it's kind of meaty, it's kind of smoky, and it smells good. And you can all tell it's coming from that first wagon, the heavier set wagon, that again now has one section of tarp rolled up and out of the way. In front of it is a table that's been set up with stack of plates, cups, quite a few pitchers of something, and wooden forks and spoons. And you hear Zaya yell just super loud, and I'm not gonna yell because Discord will cut me out. But you hear her yelling that supper is ready.
We apologize. She was having some headset issues. She had a recent Windows update, and it's caused a little confusion with
Classic.
Discord and Windows.
Classic Windows fucking updates.
But I fixed it. Also, Juniper is standing there.
First in line.
Yes. The moment she realized what Zaya was doing, she was there, waiting
Okay.
very patiently, just slight bit of drool coming out of her mouth that she keeps kind of trying to be like on the down low and white. But yeah, she's there.
Excellent.
Very
So
food motivated.
first one there, you grabbing a plate, you're putting the cutlery ready, like you're just ready. As soon as Zaya says supper's ready, you see not exactly for the first time, but now you're paying more attention. From inside the D&D food truck. Yes, the person that just whispered to me, that is correct. You see an older, oh man, I gotta turn off the autofocus. An older halfling who has very short white hair that is kind of swept off to the side and back a little bit. He has a little bit of a goatee, but his mustache part is twirled at the end, and the bottom part of it does come to a point, also kind of white. It's kind of, and with a little bit of gray, kind of salt and peppery. You can see that he is wearing some kind of a bib, but underneath that bib, you can see he wears a red shirt that seems to have these white flowers on it. That's all that you can see from your tall perspective. There's stuff like in the way, and as you're looking, you're realizing, holy motherfucking, what? This wagon, the stone structures. I mean, he is cooking inside the wagon, which is why the gosh darn thing is so heavy, because there's a stone oven as well as other places for fire, as he's got all pots and things like ladles and just stuff is everywhere, and the smells of this coming out are amazing. And since you are the first one, he goes, "Hiya, I'm Jonathan Butterbase. How are you today?"
I'm doing so much better now that I know for a fact that this is indeed a kitchen cart.
Oh yeah. I really love to cook. I'm not so good at like the fighting thing, which is why my wife Zaya takes care of all that stuff. But by golly, I fully believe that a lot can be done on a happy stomach. And if we just all had happier stomachs, we'd probably get along better.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Oh, good. So I've got two choices for you today. Are you a meat eater or a vegetable eater, or both?
Either or.
Well, how hungry are you?
Famished. I've had to keep track of two very absent-minded people today.
You know, I can respect that. Zaya has to do that for me all the time. Because I'm all like, ooh, I wonder if that mushroom's edible. Or, ooh, what does that thing taste like? And I'll just start wandering around. And she'll have to come and get me. It's kind of fun, actually. Anyway, okay. So, you're famished. I see you've already got your stuff. Can I have your plate, please?
And I very, politely hand it over to him.
Okay. He takes your wooden plate. You see as he gets out this set of tongs, and he's reaching down into one kind of really deep copper pot, and he pulls out and he puts on your plate 2 peppers, and you can tell the peppers are hollowed and have something stuffed inside. And then he puts the tongs down. He goes to another one which has a ladle, and he pulls out this thick brown sauce, and he just pours right over both of them, and he sets that down. And then he goes to he sets the plate on the countertop there, and he gets out a different set of tongs, and he reaches down and he goes, "Oh, hot still," and he pulls out a relatively good size, about an 8-inch long, a brown bread that he puts on the plate. Do you want me to cut that? Put some butter on that for you?
You wouldn't mind, please. And she's just like drooling. She's not even trying to like wipe it anymore. She's just drooling, staring at this food.
He puts those tongs down. He takes a knife out. He cuts just the top of the bread, and you see the bread, like the crust. You can like hear the knife scraping against the crust for a little bit before it cuts into it, and it just pops open, and the smell of bread hits you, and then he goes over to a different box inside there, and he opens it up, and you can see that there's this large chunk of ice in there, and he reaches in, he pulls out a tub, he sets it down, gets a different kind of knife, opens up that tub, and with that knife scrapes out this huge section of butter that he just plops right on top of that cut that he made, and he makes sure to spreads it down the whole thing. And then he hands you back the plate. He goes, "Here you go."
I take it very gently. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. This looks so delicious. You are a magnificent chef. I shall enjoy this greatly. And I very excitedly, ears twitching so happily, just totter off to go eat.
Don't forget a drink!
Shortstop just turns around and it's like, drink. Where do I get a drink?
So they were right there at the table. There were a couple of pitchers. The two options that were there are water and a kind of a fruit juice, like a mixed fruit juice.
Definitely juice. Big fan of juice.
There you go. You take your plate, your cutlery, and your juice, and off you go.
You know, Hiromi and Ivy, completely forgotten. Only thing on Juniper's mind, this plate of very delicious food that has got me so hungry right now.
And it's amazing. Well, as you take that first bite, that butter has already started the melting process into the bread. The bread's already started to absorb that buttery goodness. So you got the crispy outside, the soft inside, within that butteriness of the rye bread itself, and then the stuffed peppers are lamb, and rice, with a brown gravy on top. That's, I mean, I'm drooling. It's really gosh darn good. Like and the peppers are green pepper, and they're relatively big. Like they're pretty good size. Eat a second dinner after this game. It's fantastic. But as you know, everybody lines up. You also get food of stuffed peppers, unless you're not a meat eater, and then he does have a salad option with bread as well. But that's basically today's menu: stuffed peppers with a brown gravy, a rye bread with butter, and your choice of water or mixed fruit juice. Which, again, is pretty damned good. Jonathan Butterbase, one of my favorite characters that I wish I could have played to level 20. He was the best gosh darn dad bard I ever made, and I turned him into an NPC because he was a professional cook.
I was hoping that's who it was when you started describing it.
Yep. I didn't have to get that far before Darvin was like, Butterbase? I'm like, yes, it's Jonathan. Jonathan Butterbase.
Feeling as soon as you described the cart.
Of course. Mm-hmm. While eating and patrolling the rest of the night. Is there anything any of you would like to do? No, I got 2 no's.
Not in particular.
No,
Not in
I'll just be
particular?
distracted by all the voices in my head like normal.
Okay.
I just
Classic
kinda sit
Ivy,
back
got
and
it.
take it all in.
Sit back, take it all in. Okay.
As it gets closer to dark, I'll get a little bit more active because I'm more nocturnal than everybody else, most likely.
Fair enough. Well, after everybody goes through the line, that's when Zaya finally gets a plate, but she hands it to Jonathan and very sternly tells him to eat because otherwise he won't. So then he will start eating because he gets so far into the cooking aspect he forgets himself. And then once she sees him actually eating, then she'll get a plate and she'll also start eating. And then they'll come out to one of the fires that are up. Zaya will bring over a couple of logs that they use for sitting down in. Zaya's very much the mover of stuff. You can see Zaya obviously very protective of Jonathan, who would have just sat on the ground had she not brought this thing over for him to sit on. He's very much doesn't really. Not a whole lot of things phase him as being improper as far as sitting on the ground or talking to anybody. He'll talk to everybody. Doesn't care. But yeah, sitting down, eating. After they get done eating, you'll see Jonathan will trace something in the air, and you'll see a little woof of air in front of him, and then suddenly his plate and cup get picked up as this something starts moving around camp and picking things up and taking them back over to the heavier set wagon where Jonathan gets up back into and begins washing all the stuff, cleaning up. Yeah, so after everything is cleaned up, Zaya starts going around gathering all of the adventurers and mercenaries together, and she starts saying, "Okay, who's doing first, second, third, and fourth watch? Who's on watch?"
I'll take second watch.
Okay.
I can.
I'll take first watch.
All right. So I heard first watch for Hiromi, second watch for Wilford.
I'll take
do
second
third.
watch too.
Juniper's also on second watch. Okay.
I'll do 3.
Ivy's on third.
I'll take last watch.
Darvin's on fourth. Atticus, where you at? Gonna be on fourth? Of course you are. Excellent. And there will be there's others that are going to be around and with you guys. So it's not just you. But the first thing, Zaya's the one who stays up after she makes sure Jonathan goes into the tent. Very much, very, very protective. So Zaya will actually be on first watch with you, Hiromi. And
Okay.
Zaya seemingly not having any kind of physical weapon other than size and strength and intimidating presence.
This is the Goliath, right?
Yes, she's a Goliath.
Oh yeah, she's way much bigger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I think
assuming
out of
7 to 8 feet.
yeah, she's almost 8 feet. She's she is 7'4", so almost 7.5.
Yeah, I come up to a little over her hip.
I mean, you are taller than Jonathan.
Halflings.
Mm-hmm. But again, like I said, there are others, and again, the animals were taken care of. Again, they had the feed, they had water. People were there brushing them down. It is going to be expected to be a chilly night, so they were given blankets over their backs, and tied to loosely, if you will, tied to the wagons. So first watch, go ahead and give me active perception check, and then is there anything that you want to do on your watch, Romy?
Perception check first.
Nice. Not too shabby myself there.
Nothing in particular. I'll most likely stay just outside of camp because I have dark vision and I like the forest at night.
Okay. You'll see that there are others who keep watch. Some of them look like they're keeping watch, but are clearly slacking off, as happens with larger groups. But as like Zia themselves really takes this fairly seriously, so as they walk around, they have absolutely no problem kicking the absolute fuck out of the people who fall asleep. Like, foot all the way back, boom, and they, the person in question goes about 4 or 5 feet. Say's a pretty strong gal. And then she'll pick them up, pull them right to her face, growl at them, and say that they're not getting paid to slack the fuck off, and then throw them back on the ground. But otherwise, Romy, you don't notice anything else on your particular shift.
Anytime she does that, I'm just going to kind of watch her and grin. I like the chaos.
Eventually, it is time for Group 2. So you'll get woken up for your shifts. And then if both of you want to give me active perception checks, please.
I miss luck.
Oh man, who needs luck? Juniper, when you are keeping watch, are you just kind of walking around like the perimeter of the camp itself, or are you gonna wander beyond the sources of light?
I'm gonna keep a pretty tight circle around the caravan, just kind of to make sure that nothing's getting too close or anybody's getting too far.
Okay. Man, Wilford, what are you doing?
So apparently I am keeping a close watch on Juniper because I have not seen a creature that looks like Juniper before, and I'm sort of mesmerized by it. And then the other people who are awake, just kind of sizing up the ones that'll survive a fight and the ones that won't.
Mm. Okay. All right. So you are fairly certain that as far as if a fight were to happen, that probably about half are either going to run or die.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. But on your guys' watch, nothing happens. Watch 3.
Yep.
Active perception checks, please. Oh, I like those dice.
I'm so perceptive.
I like it. Let's see what your other allies have here.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Well, why did it have me roll as you? It's not supposed to do that. This gosh darn thing. Let's do that. If I disable that, does it still? It
Not
does.
rolling as me, but because it doesn't have the +0/+0 after it. You're just on my token.
I know, but it says
It's
your
weird.
name, and I don't like that because if I'm clicking on a different token that's not yet in the scene,
We get to see who it is. You mean?
unless I change everything to private, which is boring. Anyway. Yeah, Ivy, what are the plants saying? Because I figure you looked around, you're like, oh, there's nothing. Hi.
Yeah. I'm just talking to them, telling them all about Auntie because Auntie's the best. And asking if they have ever seen anybody like Auntie because I love Auntie. I am so distracted. AKA keeping great watch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ed empty.
No, my head is full of voices. They're just not mine.
Wow. Well, watch 3 goes by, and there does not seem to be any particular issue. Watch 4. What shenanigans is Atticus going to do to Darvin in this particular watch?
Atticus is going to kind of stay to the shadows. You know, just keep puffing away on his very old, pungent-smelling cigar. And I'm going to keep an eye on Darvin, but I'm also going to keep an eye on the rest of the things that I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
And just gonna every time I catch him glancing at me, just gonna be like, howdy. Just tip my hat.
Okay. Atticus, go ahead and give me a perception roll. Darvin, what are you doing?
I'm going to patrol the edge of the camp with a torch out.
Okay.
Just basically walking around it. I am also, consequently, going to be keeping an eye on Atticus.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he, flashes his peepers at me, and we lock eyes from across the caravan. Because I have to make this sound as awkward as possible. To basically get to the point where, once we lock eyes, I'm going to make a face that is one of disdain when I see him. And then quickly try and cover it up with a smile.
Wow. Atticus, I need that perception check.
Yeah, I'm bugged out right now. It just has a blank box. It's not even letting me close it to reopen my sheet. Let me reload real quick. Fucking discards.
Let's see. I love it when drivers update and my mute button doesn't actually mute. I had the floral problem. Gosh darn Windows.
There we
Hey, there's a thing. Yep. Darvin, can I get one of those? One of them there checks from you, sir, please, and thank you.
You mean the one that I already rolled?
Yes, I do mean the one that you already rolled.
Unless you want me to make a different kind of check. I'm totally for that too.
I do actually. I want you to make a sleight of hand check, please.
Oh.
Okay. So Atticus, you don't notice the scowl that Darvin gives you. Only the smile every time you two lock eyes. You guys are obviously best buds. But as your guys' watch comes to a conclusion, you smell bacon, which I believe, because it's hilarious to me, wakes Juniper up. As you all can hit your long rest button, and if you are someone who needs to prepare spells for the day, you can prepare new spells at this time.
Okay, remind me, where is the long rest button?
If you open up your character sheet, there's a cute little bed-looking icon, and then there are two hourglasses. The first one is short rest, the second one is long rest.
Oh, I see it.
I obviously need to make sure the plants had a good day before I'm ready for my day.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 of you. Hit your buttons. Who are we missing here? We are missing Juniper.
Juniper is trying her best.
Fair.
Juniper is so excited for bacon.
Yeah, no, I was about the moment you said bacon, I was like, Juniper is up. She is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready.
I had a feeling.
Not me.
I
I'm a
am
morning person.
frantically clicking this long rest button, and if it loads all the time that I've clicked this, I apologize.
It's not doing anything.
Boundary abscess.
Womp, womp, womp.
So when you click long rest, does the new pop-up come up that says finish long rest?
It's probably behind your character sheet. Look.
There you go.
Never mind, I'm just incompetent.
It's Foundry first time. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We
This is
still
one
go like, how do I roll a d20? It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's awesome. Do you want to change any of your spells though, Juniper? Or do you want to leave them as is? So it's if you go open up your character sheet and you go to spell book, it's the ones that have the green ones. Yes. So you'll click the book to unprepare, and then click new books, or you can just again leave them as is. It's your choice. If you're happy with them, that's good.
I think I'm gonna leave them as is because I picked them to
Perfect.
specifically leave them.
Yeah, no, that's 100% fine. As you guys are collectively waking up, whether or not you're up as soon as the smell of bacon hits, like some professional eaters do, or if you're the one who doesn't wake up until you smell the sweet, sweet smell of steamed bean water as a what we call a light Jonathan butter-based breakfast of a tomato and mushroom omelet, some bacon, and coffee is served for breakfast.
Yum.
There you go with the food again.
Jonathan
I will probably
and
be the
I.
last one up.
Guess I'm making eggs
Hiromi's,
after we're done with.
Hiromi's not a morning person.
Okay.
Foxes are traditionally nocturnal, so she is going to be probably the last one up and grumbling about it.
Well,
when I notice that Hiromi gets up, I'm going to just telepathically to them go, "Good morning, the plants are alive. Aren't you happy?"
Can they reply in the same way?
No. I don't
Awesome.
think so, at least. That's my whispers thing.
Awesome. Unseen voices more in your ears at all times, such you can tell by speaking to people. You don't need to share language creature to understand it, but you understand you at least once. Oh, no, they cannot. You send it one way. Awesome.
It's great fun.
Well, I mean, since this is the first time you guys are adventuring together, Hiromi, there's voices in your head that sounds exactly like Ivy, and you're not sure why. It's kind of unsettling, and that's where we're going to take our first potty break. sure I go get back on the internet here.
Otherwise, Minx will be so sad.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Yeah,
listening.
because they're watching.
Uh-huh.
Is she?
Sending me great comments.
Yep.
You
One,
Our
do
one of them,
commentary over.
one of them
Jonathan
was
glorious.
about Darwin's looks.
He was telling me how you guys take your food very seriously.
Uh-huh. Jonathan's made an appearance in multiple campaigns.
Mm-hmm. I love him.
He was.
He's only died in
wasn't he
one
a-
of them.
So far. We don't actually know for a fact that it's him, though, do we? That died.
That's true, you don't. It was a charred body of a halfling. 2 charred bodies of a halfling.
He could
Have you ever
have.
played
It could have not
Dragon
been
Age
him.
Origins?
That was Jonathan in the kitchen.
The only 2 halflings missing from your guys' crew was the old lady who was the cleaner
The cleaner.
and Jonathan.
Oh, that.
Have you
That's
ever
why we're
played?
so happy to see him.
Have you ever played Dragon Age Origins?
No.
There's a dwarf in Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 that kind of reminds me of Jonathan. He was a merchant. NPC just kind of hangs around your camp and sells you stuff.
So I've got a strange question. Which Hiromi am I on the YouTubes?
Huh?
You've got 2 Hiromi cards.
Do I fucking really?
You do?
Poor Atticus.
There's 0 love for the scaly ones, I tell you.
That's the life expectancy you got in this game.
Oh,
That's
fuck,
what
I
was
sure
about to
do.
say, that He planned on
Son of a
juicing me out
bitch.
the first hour, I know it.
Son of a
PPK
bitch, I
plan
sure
happens.
do. Whoops.
It's probably Portia's fault.
I believe that. Let's see here. There you go. It should be fixed now. The 2 of you should catch up here in a moment. Yep. I just caught up on my screen. Whoopsies.
I mean, it wouldn't be
Right.
mythical rollers without technical difficulties, so.
I mean, truth.
Can I ask a question about a spell before we kick off?
Yeah.
So, on my menu for E, I don't have any. I have guidance listed as an innate ability. Is that something that can be cast once a day? An innate ability?
No. That's whenever's. How do you get how do you get guidance? What gives you guidance?
I know I shouldn't ask the question.
Let's see, not that. Is it this? Nope, not that. Or that. Or that. Oh, it's your feet. Got it. No, that is unlimited, and you don't need material components for it because it's your feet.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? As I keep stalling because I'm 3 bites away from finishing my ice cream.
Can't give a random fun fact and give you a little time.
I did enjoy your cat fact from before.
Yeah, that almost sent me down a dark hole when I started typing in cat
Yeah.
sensory glands.
I actually also Googled it to myself to fact check myself after the fact, and they're more like little teeth than tentacles because
Little teeth.
Googling cat mouth tentacles kind of pulls up some weird shit. But onto my fun fact. It is actually a myth that raccoons wash their food. They're not washing their food. They're washing their hands while they eat their food because raccoons have more sensory organs in their hands than normal animals. So by getting their hands wet, they're kind of giving their sensory organs a little more to work with. So when they're washing their food and like filling it up with their hands, they're actually getting a better sense of what it is, what it feels like, the shape and general size, because they've got really poor eyesight.
That explains why Atticus takes so long in the shower.
Fucking hell, man.
Wow. So after breakfast, the heavy cart, the tarp gets redone back over, locked back down. And you guys are back on the road fairly early in the morning of this particular time. Early enough that there's still morning dew on the grasslands. And away you go.
For the first good bit of travel, Juniper's just staring very longingly at the snack cart. But after she gets over lamenting the fact that the snack cart has closed for the next couple hours, she again takes up her duty to keep track of Ivy and Hiromi, make sure they don't get separated, lost, or squished.
You mean I can't be standing at the side of the road looking at flowers? Okay. That's rude.
We will see lots of pretty flowers along the way. However, if you don't keep track of the caravan, no pretty flowers.
Sticks my tongue out.
Wow. Well, the wagon team makes their way, continuing down the coastway. Between yesterday and today, as far as how busy this particular road has been, you all have noticed only about 4 other wagon groups. You've seen the occasional solo traveler or traveling merchant that just has a backpack of stuff, or maybe just an adventurer or two. But as it's definitely not. It's not the road between Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep. It's not the tradeway by any shape or form. So you've seen some people, but not a terrible amount. Excuse me. As you are traveling down, making your way, it gets to a little around lunch-ish time, and you guys don't stop. You keep going. The wagon did not stop for lunchtime. Juniper.
Juniper is very distraught about the lack of snackies, but she is hopeful that there will be another chance to eat the very delicious food from the cart.
Excuse me. My goodness. Continuing down and down and down and around, you end up taking a a smaller section of road off of the coastway, and you can see in the far distance the tall peaks of Candlekeep, one of the biggest libraries and places of learning in the Sword Coast. While Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, and Neverwinter do have places of learning, Candlekeep itself is nothing but. So it is the largest collection. It is in the distance, and anybody who's trained, go ahead and give me a survival roll. If you're trained in survival, give me a survival roll.
The one thing I didn't get, and I wish I did.
I'm not surviving very well. It's fine.
If it
Wow,
has like a
Ivy.
little check mark in front of it, that means you have it, right?
That is affirmative.
Okay.
If you have a check mark, that means you are proficient. If you have 2 check marks, that means you are starts with an E.
Expertise.
Expert. Thank you. And if you have a half-filled circle, that means you are a subclass. You are a shitty class called a bard.
Wow. Find that offensive.
There's no fence. Oh, what? Darvin and Juniper, by your superior survival estimations, it's probably going to be dark by the time you're getting there. As you've been traveling for quite a while, it's still quite a ways in the distance. It's also strangely odd that you haven't had an encounter yet. Considering how the quest notice was worded, it seemed like, at least for you, Darvin, it seemed like there'd be a lot more bloodshed on this trip than you have had, and it's kind of odd. It's kind of weird. Just, something to put in the back of the old cranium there. But as you guys get up to Candlekeep, Candlekeep itself, I mean, pretty gosh darn big and nice. A large outer wall that separates the buildings of learning from the rest of the world. It is built on the side of the cliff, so you can hear the ocean waves clashing against the rocks below. You can smell the salts in the air as you get closer and closer. There does appear to be a lighthouse behind the castle in the distance on one of the other islands. I mean, you all would be familiar with some geographical places like Candlekeep, pretty big place. Behind it are some smaller islands. There's a little cove that is there. Lighthouse is currently lit, spinning. You get up to the gate itself, and outside the gate there are a couple of guards. The gate is shut. It's dark, but Zia walks up to them. Any of you who think you would be towards the front of the caravan listening can go ahead and give me a perception check. If you don't think you'd be up there, don't worry about it. But any of you who think that you would, go ahead and give me a perception check. for your earballs if you get, I don't know, strange earball advantage or whatever. Ivy, are you sure that you want to do that? Juniper has been salivating for a few hours now, and is just obviously looking for a snack.
Yeah, but there's scary walls, so I'm gonna like stay by the tall person who kind of seems to like me.
Fair enough.
Juniper would never eat any of her short stacks. She holds them very dear to her heart.
I don't know, with some maple syrup.
I mean, you never know.
So I guess nobody thinks they're close, so nobody has anything, nobody has any idea what's being said. There are some words that are said before you guys would start hearing the sound of heavy wood moving, and then the gates themselves opening before Zaya comes back up to the first wagon, which again is the oxen one, and the team collectively is moved in. The courtyard behind the walls, the courtyard of Candlekeep is relatively good size, and there are multiple buildings behind these walls, but there is one in particular, the biggest one that is in the center, that is in the furthest back against the edge here, that, I mean, even in the dark, you guys can just tell it just seems to go up for what seems like days. There are multiple, like, old Goth style peaks on this particular building with a center one that just seems to go up and up and up. There are smaller buildings around, but as soon as you guys get behind the walls themselves and the main gates close, you can all hear Zaya telling everybody to start setting up camp. Unloading will happen in the morning, and then we'll head off for the next part of the journey. And so, as just like the night before, the animals are taken care of. Somebody grabs provisions and takes them back to the heavy wagon. And within about 45 minutes, the the side of the cover opens up, and smell of sweetmeats and smokes and something else wafts out, and it is another delicious smelling meal.
You know, the moment Zaya started messing with cutlery, Juniper was there. She was ready, she was prepared. She was in the middle of comforting Ivy, like, hey, don't worry, I know it's a little scary, the walls are tall, but I'm sure you'll be food. Gone.
I'm sure you'll be food. Ivy, how do you feel about being told that they're sure you're going to be food?
Telepathically to Juniper, don't you dare eat me! I will not be happy.
Juniper will kind of just like offhandedly wave her hand like towards Ivy's general direction, eyes still on the food cart, just like yeah.
As you get over there and you get your plate and you're ready, you see Jonathan. And he goes, "Oh, you're the first one again, Juniper. Hi, how are you? How was your day? Did you have a good day today?"
I've been great, Jonathan. I was so excited to eat your food again. I was a little sad we never stopped for lunch, but I understand we're on a schedule. So, she very excitedly clapped my hands together and be like, "What do you have today?"
Well, I assume that like yesterday, you're famished again, right?
Absolutely famished.
Okay, just give me your plate. It's gonna be fine. Just trust in Jonathan Butterbase. Come on, give me your plate.
again, very respectfully hands him the plate and is kind of dancing on one foot to the other, very excited for the food.
Okay. You can see that on this particular time, there's not the two big pots. There is still a big pot, but there's not as many this particular time. Instead, he takes your plate and he walks over to where, I mean, as tall as you are, you can see there's an active rotisserie spit over fires, multiple spits over fires. And he puts on these gloves, setting your plate down, lifts up one side of the spit, and takes off this piece of meat that, in the darkness, you can't really tell exactly what it is just yet. But he puts it on your plate, and then he turns around where he's got another smaller fire going that seems to have some kind of grate, and he again with these gloves on. He picks up some kind of long green thing. And then you can see he starts shucking it as you're like, oh, that's corn. As he sets that on the plate. And then he goes over to the big pot that he's got. He gets a ladle. And he's just thump a big old heaping of mashed potatoes. And then there's this smaller simmering pot right next to, and he goes, gravy, I assume, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Which he takes his ladle, makes a divot into the potatoes before pouring the gravy on it. And then he goes, I didn't do big enough plates, I don't think. As he sets your plate down and takes out these tongs again, reaches underneath it to his right, so he pulls out. He seems to have this thing for this rye bread. He just sets it kind of on top of the corn. And now that their plate's right next to you, you can see it's some sort of small bird that has been on this rotisserie. He sets the bread on top. He pulls out a knife. He's just cutting the bread, just assuming you want butter again, as he lathers the bread and butter and then puts a smaller section next to the corn itself. And then he scoots the plate closer for you to be able to get.
Thank you, Jonathan. I am sure this will be absolutely scrumptious.
You're very welcome. Enjoy. Remember your drink so you don't have to come back this time.
I will. And I'll pick up the plate. I'll get me a cup of water, and I'll very excitedly toddle off. My ears are just a flapping. I'm so excited to eat this food. And I sit down and I just ravenously enjoy this food.
It is a rotisserie and a kind of a spicy seasoned Cornish hen that you can see on the inside is half of a lemon.
Oh.
As was rotisseried while it was on the spit. There is water, but there's also this small wooden barrel that seems to have a tap in it on the table this particular evening.
Juniper does not drink, actually, so she'll just take water.
That's fine. 100%. You have your meal. Everybody comes up, gets a meal, and you are told that what is in the barrel is ale, and you are welcome to have a cup of ale, as that is, your allotted ration. As again, this particular group doesn't want anybody intoxicated. But as food is handed out, and again, last one, Zia makes sure Jonathan eats before she herself eats. And, Jonathan just sitting around the fire goes, okay, so you there, the one who keeps talking to plants, you kind of look like broccoli, and I don't mean that meanly. I really like broccoli. What is your name?
Ivy?
Is it because of the crown?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay, why are you green? Are you an
I-
orc or something?
Don't think so.
Show me your teeth. Nah, it's not orc teeth. He's just munching away. Never met a green person who wasn't an orc before. It's nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you too.
Oh, if you don't think it's nice to meet me, you don't have to say so.
I just forget because I haven't talked with lots of people.
Do you prefer
But you're
talking to
nice.
plants?
Well, it
I
was
mean, see
just
you looking
Auntie
down
and
all the time. You're either looking at your feet or you're talking to the ground.
Yeah. The plants.
Do they talk back?
Sometimes maybe. It's hard to tell. I think those are the voices I hear, but I'm not entirely sure. Auntie never really explained it.
He like gets a little closer to you and he goes, "Okay, I gotta know. I got a very serious and maybe kind of morbid question, if you don't mind. Is this corn talking to you right now, or is it dead? Like, are they still alive?
No, not once they're picked.
Does it hurt them when they're picked? Like, do they feel pain?
Well, I guess it depends how mean people are when they pick them. I always ask first.
I should ask first. Okay. I'll remember that. Thank you. As he just starts nibbling on the corn. Just again, he doesn't have a whole lot of like people manners, right? So like there's corn everywhere, there's bird everywhere. It's all up in his little beard goatee section. And that's right.
Love him.
And he just goes around and he he walks over to Juniper, sits down next to you, Juniper, and goes, "So, how you like my food?"
It is absolutely scrumptious. It is some of the best food I've ever eaten. Don't tell my mama I said that though. She would definitely beat me with a switch.
Okay, so what about this? What if me and your mom have a cook-off and she says it's the best food she's ever eaten?
I don't know. That'd be a hard one.
I don't know. Just maybe then you could say it without getting switched.
Yes. That is definitely.
I mean, I don't know. I'm
something
not
that-
saying I'm better than them, but I'm pretty good.
I mean, there's always a chance you could run into them. My clan wanders around a lot, so.
Really?
We're one of the few Furbolg clans that are nomadic. So.
Nomadic Furbolg clan. Man, I really need to get out more. How have I not seen them?
We tend to stay off the roads, but every now and then we'll go into town. My dad's a cartographer and he sells the maps that he makes. And since we tend to go off the beaten path, the maps are unique.
Interesting. I wonder if I have any. I'll have to look. He just continues eating. Is there anything anybody wants to do?
Since the large doors shut us inside of this place, Hiromi won't get more than I won't get more than like a foot from Juniper.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're sitting right there next to Juniper, So what's your name? And I don't mean this to be rude, but what are you? Because I've never seen one of you before.
I'm gonna glance up at Juniper for a second, like I'm looking for some that this is a nice person.
And Juniper's just gonna look down at Hiromi, nod her head, and lightly pat Hiromi on the head and kind of ruffle her fur and ears and go back to relaxing.
Then I'm gonna look at him and say, "My name is Hiromi, and my people are quite rare in this area." And I lean closer to him and very quietly whisper that I'm a kitsune.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but you're really pretty. Are the tails real?
She said, "Yes, my tails are real. We are, I guess the closest thing to get you to understand would be a fox people."
Fox people.
Yeah, that's a little bit more simplified.
That's pretty nifty.
But yes, the tails are real.
Well, it's nice to meet you. Like, officially. Other than when you came up to get food.
I'm just going to smile, my toothy grin, and say, "And the food is good," and just leave it at that. But I will, ever since the doors have shut on this place, I will seem like I'm a little nervous.
Okay. Fucking Darwin and your meme. That's hilarious. And it's strangely wrong in so many ways. Anyway. After eating, again, Jonathan gives back up, and as things are brought to him, he starts cleaning up. And Zia will once again gather everybody up and tell you that even though we're behind walls, still putting up a watch. So who's first, second, third, and fourth?
I'll take first watch again, but this time I'm going to stay closer to camp.
Fair enough.
I'll take. I was gonna say I was gonna take first with
You
Hiromi.
can too. It's fine.
I mean, the three of you can have firsties.
Yeah, I'm gonna take first with Hiromi. Kind of just make sure I stay close to her.
Okay.
But also still do my job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then who's on second?
I'll do second again.
I'll
Okay.
do second this time with
There you go.
Louise there.
Sure.
Is
I
there
got
supposed to be a map on my screen?
No, just the
Okay.
the default,
making sure.
just the default screen.
Okay.
Darvin, are you going to do any watch, third, fourth? None of them?
Same last watch again.
Okay.
Do
All
we
right,
have
well,
people in the caravan who are doing the other watch, third watch. Otherwise, I'll do third. I don't mind.
every time you guys have done a watch, there's always been others. There's a lot of people
Okay.
to you. This is a big group
Just
that's
wanted to
moving
make
around.
sure.
Yeah, there is plenty of people. Whether they're good at it or not, who knows?
I mean, I haven't been very good at it either, so it's fine.
What are you talking about? You watch that grass very well.
It didn't go anywhere. I know.
It did not go anywhere. Like a gosh darn pro. You knocked it
Still
out
proud
of the
of
park.
myself.
That's right. Why not? In that case, first watchies. Active perception checks with your eyeballs, please. And there's anything you three would like to do?
Just gonna kind of sit off and hum to myself a little bit.
Okay.
I am just going to be very attentive. More so because we're locked inside these walls.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk the perimeter, make sure everybody's okay, nobody that I don't recognize is approaching, nobody I do recognize is leaving. Check on Hiromi, check on Ivy, and just make sure everything's as it should be.
Well, I will say that everything is, quote, as it should be, end quote, because Ivy is once again talking to the plants on the ground. They are clearly terrible, this whole keeping watch thing.
Well, what's the point? Nobody ever came to Auntie's unless Auntie invited them.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy is being Ivy, everything is
Mhm.
as it should be.
Exactly. Yeah. First watch goes by uneventful. Second watch, go ahead and give me active perception checks. Okay. What are you two doing? Anything?
Again, watching the my companions to see which ones appear to be good fighters and which ones appear to be in need of stock.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a wee patrol route around the caravan with my tassel claw jiggly bell, things.
Okay.
Yeah. Watching the lizard wearing bells walking around the perimeter.
I mean, they're spurs,
It,
but they sound like bells.
remind me of Santa Claus and his reindeer, so you catch my attention. Just staring in bewilderment.
You've been to the Fey realm and met Santa. Sorry.
Uh-oh. Someone's getting important info.
Someone's getting a whisper.
That's not stressful at all.
Nope. You hear the horde gathering in the bushes just outside the gate.
So is this like the traditional Candlekeep, where you've got like the first little courtyard area, and then there's another set of large doors that goes into the main?
Oh, this is
Trying to
all
get an
one
idea
one
for-
big. It's not separate.
Oh, it's not separated. Okay, that's what I wanted.
Bitch, you cannot have a potato chip.
Yeah, bitch. This is my potato chips.
I can't, can I?
Correct.
Oh.
It just struck you as odd because most of the people who are on watch are mostly around the wagons themselves, whereas everybody resting is more inside the camp area. And it was relatively quiet whenever you started your looky-loo around, but you noticed what you noticed. Do with that whatever you want.
I want to to kind of steer my little path towards what I think I may have heard.
It is dark, and there's no real light. So are you gonna light a torch or stumble around the darkness? Do you have a candle? Fire off a gunshot? What's your plan?
Oh, Atticus don't have fireball. So shit, I'm out
Yes, you
of
do.
options.
They're just miniaturized.
It's true. Very
Fireball,
true.
fireball, fireball. That's right.
I'm gonna go ahead and strike a torch up.
Okay.
And just kind of see what I can see in the shadows of the darkness and things.
Go ahead and give me a survival roll. Let's see if you can pinpoint where that was at. As Wilford, you see, obvious, Atticus lighting up a torch and walking towards the camp area itself versus the wagons.
This is something I recognize as being unusual and of concern. So I will meander my way over towards Atticus, unless I hear the little bells start to go ding 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 ding, like he's running after something.
Great, I just made myself a fucking cat, and now you'll know where I'm at all times.
Yeah, you have disadvantage on stealth because you have little bells on your fucking back claws.
Be taking
It's gonna
those
be
fucking things off.
hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious. Yes, you got a little ding 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 ding. So he doesn't. Atticus is not running. But Atticus, as you get closer to where you feel like that sound was, you do notice that one of the one-person tents has a slash through the side of it.
I was so hoping you were going to say he caught Darvin cheating on him.
Where is this tent in relation to like the other tents in the camp? Is it?
You guys aren't close. You're not like tent to tent to tent. And there's quite a few of you. I would say it's no more than 10 feet away from the next tent. Like you guys are fairly close, but not stepping on each other's toes.
I'm gonna slow my walk, so my bells slow down, and I want to shine the torch to see if is there a sign of struggle in the grass, matting.
Sure. Give me an investigation roll.
Oh, I missed Keegan's stats. Holy shit!
Yes, you guys are inside the walls. 18. As you're looking down, like you can for sure see some impressions in the grass themselves. So go ahead and give me a survival roll to see what you can discern about those impressions.
Jesus, man.
This is bad news, guys.
The
ones are coming.
You can tell that as far as the depressions look themselves, something was dragged out of the tent and away from it.
I'm gonna look around. Do I see any of the other sentries or, the guards or watch members?
Yeah, I mean, none of them are actively like watching in the camp. Most of the patrolling and looking out is the wagons themselves. So as far as people inside the camp that are looking, like there's you, and there's Wilford making his way to you as he's noticing you noticing something.
I'm going to, when I see Wilford walking this way, I'm gonna do my best cowboy whistle, you know, and kind of raise the torch up, and just kind of alert him that there's something there. And I want to see is there a direction? What direction has this thing been dragged, hauled, you know, cow-tied and hog-roped?
Well, you can see that it was at least dragged out of camp. You'd have to start following it if you want to figure anything else more out. What do you want to do, Atticus?
Well, about how far away is Wilford?
As soon as you whistled and raised the torch, recognizing that you had something of importance, I doubled my speed to get up to you.
Your short little legs are pumping.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a little dog running across the house.
Well, I mean, I've got the cat bell on apparently, so I mean, let's fucking farmhouse this. Here we go.
Bring back the tavern music.
I'm gonna look at Wilford, and with my hat, I'm gonna take my hat. I'm gonna tip it up. I'm gonna say, "There's been a." Now I've got to change. I've actually got to do an accent. Hang on, just fucking Americans. Appears to have been a struggle, and somebody got hauled off this ways. So I think maybe we should, you know, go take a look-see. I know, laugh at me accent. Go ahead, it's okay. Fine, go right on.
It was
Right
jarring.
Glorious.
It was jarring. I couldn't help but laugh.
So Lane fucking, he was trying not to fucking bust ass, and come on.
Hearing that voice from you is glorious.
Follow me. Let's go. I will.
Oh, was that Wilford's voice?
That's Wilford's. I'm struggling.
Oh, did I steal your thunder? Did I now?
Okay.
And then-
So you guys are following whatever this trail is, wherever it's going. Do either of you notify anybody else, or do you just and go?
I want to find Darvin, and just when we see Darvin, I'm gonna. Hey, Cal.
So
hang
hang on. First, give me a investigation check to see if you can figure out which tent is Darvin's,
It comes out
or if
number one.
Darvin's just like laying on the grass itself.
Joke's on you. I wouldn't be in a tent.
While he's doing that, I have something I'm doing.
What do you
as
want to do,
well.
Wilford?
So, noticing the tent and the slash, I'd like to take a closer look to see, does it look fresh? Is this like hours old, or is this minutes old?
Go ahead and give me an investigation roll, Wilford. Atticus, after looking around at tents and like, man, I don't know which one of these is Darvin's, you see Darvin just laying in the grass. No tent. So you can go attempt to wake him if you'd like. In which case I need to know how you attempt to wake him.
I will attempt to wake him, but I'm not going to get close.
Okay?
Like you wouldn't hear the bells coming.
I've got a friend who's a wizard in Waterdeep, and he's been told, don't get close to people. You know, that you know, it just makes sense. So I'm gonna get about 15 or so feet from him, and I'm gonna do my whistle thing again. You know, it's that high pitched shriek whistle. If you're cowboy, I don't even ask me if I can do it. All right, we don't do that in Ireland. But yeah, hey, I'll be like, hey, sleepy pants, come on now. Need you to wake up.
Awesome. I need everybody else to give me an active perception roll at disadvantage, please, because you're all sleeping. I want to know if this wakes anybody up. Nah, Darvin, you're dead to the world.
I am so perceptive. This is so sad after my other characters.
All right.
Juniper,
It was
you
probably-
wake up to a whistle and something about pants and waking up, and let's go.
Juniper is up. Juniper wakes up, and the moment she hears pants, she panics. She checks to make sure her pants are still on, and she starts looking around herself very frantically. And then
Does
she-
Juniper and Hiromi have a tent?
Yes.
Do they
And-
share a tent?
No.
Okay, so then, Juniper, you wake up, you've got pants on, and through the canvas of the tent, you can see that somebody's got a torch. At least close enough that that the light is visible, like through the canvas, and you can hear Atticus's voice.
Yes, the Irish Sam Elliott. All right. Juniper's gonna pop her head out of the tent and kind of squint and look at Atticus. And
All right.
shrug, get out of the tent and kind of lumber over him and be like, "Why are you being so loud?"
Well, Atticus, you didn't get Darvin, but you did get a Juniper.
Well, okay. All right. Since Darvin didn't wake up and I was trying to be, sensitive and polite, I'm not going to be sensitive and polite now. So I'm going to take that torch. I'm going to hold that torch high. And I'm going to clear my voice. And I'm going to bellow
Oh God.
and yell, come on, boy, get your butt up. We got to go. And then I'm going to kick like
Okay.
grass sticks at Darvin.
Awesome. Everybody,
that's-
active perception rolls at disadvantage because you still are sleeping, but the DC is significantly less because he's actively yelling now.
Yeah.
Hiromi, you're up. Darvin, you're up. Ivy, you're sleeping.
Ivy, you're awesome.
I am sleeping outside too because why would I have a tent and be away from my beloved plants?
You are just so content with nature right
They're
now. You are
making-
in.
Making
I
weed
love
angels
the
in the
grass.
snow and everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the grass.
dirt angels. Awesome.
As you,
there you go.
kick those sticks at me, I'm basically going to jump up, from laying down to just for lack of a better term, Slav squat, hand axe out, ready to throw it, and then realize, fuck, it's that dragonborn.
Motherfucker.
It's that feckin' lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. About time
Also,
you
right
fucking
next to
did
that feckin' lizard is the really tall furbulk.
Well, I'll obviously that look of absolute disdain is gonna, wash over my face and then quickly be covered up with the smile again and be like, "Oh, yes. What can I do for you? Since you've woken me up before my shift, I can tell. I think."
We've got signs of struggle. Tent's been cut, and there's stampy things in the grass. I really suck at this fucking accent. I'm gonna have to work on this.
You really
I'm
are
gonna
gonna
have
have
to,
to work on this, aren't you?
I'm gonna have to fucking start watching more Clint
It's
Eastwood.
terrible.
I love it.
Oh man, the
I love
accent
how this-
wars only get worse as we're all in person.
I love how the accent throws off his vocabulary. There's
Yeah.
stompy things in the ground.
Wilford,
Footprints?
while all this BS is happening, there are a couple of things that you notice. Is my camera still fucking auto zooming? I guess I never really opened up that software to turn auto zoom off. Let's do that now, because I like to move. I like to move it. Advanced, autofocus, off. Okay. Yeah, 17. As you're looking around the come on, there it goes. I assume you're gonna light a torch or a candle or something because your light source walked away.
Yes.
Good enough. We're just saying that you did. As you look around and through, and kind of like spread the cut open and look inside the tent, you can see the inside is just covered in blood. But
was
there's
waiting on it.
strangely no blood outside of the tent. The blood that's inside has started to congeal, but there are still some sections of wetness. You see a slashed bedroll, a slashed pillow. You do not see any sort of backpack or pouches, but there is a pair of boots that is sitting closer to where the entrance is, the official entrance of the tent itself.
One other thing, does the tent look like a commoner's tent, or does it look like one of, say, Jonathan or Zia's?
It looks like a typical one-person tent, the kind you would buy at a general store, all day long. Nothing fancy, nothing big. So it looked like a single-person tent. Although I say that considering Juniper's single-person tent is actually a two-person tent, but they're so big that's their one-person tent.
I will then throw a rock that I find nearby over by Atticus and continue following the footprints.
Okay. Hiromi, you wake
Yes.
up to the sound of obviously Atticus's voice telling some male person to get up. In your tent, you can see light coming through the canvas, so at least a torch is close enough for that to happen. What do? Do you go back to bed? Do you get up and investigate things? What do you do?
My curiosity is going to get the better of me, and I'm going to step outside of my tent
Well,
to see what's going on.
you step outside of your tent and you see your friend Juniper standing right next to Atticus, who is the one who's yelling for somebody to wake up as Darvin and like that whole scenario starts happening. You notice a rock coming across the way, hitting the dirt next to Atticus. What do you all do? Atticus, you completed your mission. You woke Darvin and a lot of other people up, as a lot of people are climbing out of their tents.
I'm just going to walk up next to Juniper and kind of look at her and look around and see if I can piece together what's going on.
I'm gonna backtrack over to Wilford and start tracking the stumpy bits in the grass.
Okay. Juniper, do you follow Atticus?
Do I see the rock get thrown?
Yes, everybody except for Ivy notices the rock being thrown.
Okay. When Atticus goes over there to check, I'll go over there to check.
Okay.
And I'll been down a considerable distance to check the tent out myself. Kind of like look at it, look at the ground. And then I make the fatal mistake of looking in the tent.
Okay. Well, so looking inside the tent, it definitely appears that someone or something really bad happened inside.
Yeah, no, Juniper I very quickly retract my hand and just, nope, nope. I just got off shift. Did I miss this? Did this happen while I was on my shift? Am I gonna get a pay doc for this? Oh, what if Jonathan doesn't give me any snacks? Oh. I promise I did my proper job. Oh, gosh. My first official job and I fuck it up. Oh, Mom's gonna be so disappointed in me. The twins are never gonna let me hear the end of this. Oh, God.
Oh man, Atticus, do you say anything to Juniper about this at all, or you just let them go with what they're saying?
And yeah, boy. So I'm gonna spin around and I'm going to mimic the look that Darwin gives me. And
The
then
smile.
The smile. Because that's what people do. They're supposed to smile. And when I walk away, just gonna shake my head, mutter something about "we're all going to die" under my breath.
Okay.
Juniper isn't even really distraught that somebody could be injured or dead. She's just distraught about failing at her job.
Darvin, did you follow them over to this tent?
I'm going to obviously put my armor on, which is going to take me a couple minutes. And then I'll pick up my axe and my shield. And then I'll start strolling over all nonchalantly, like axe over the shoulder. And I will approach, I assume, Juniper is there lamenting. Do I see, like, the blood on her hand? Like, did she touch anything? She got blood on her, or... She
does not have blood on her, no. They are just freaking out about it.
Well, I'll light a torch.
Okay.
And stick my head in the tent. Take a good look. See all the blood, I assume. I'm going to send you something if you'd like to do something with it.
I like things.
I'll grumble to myself about too many torches.
I'm going to, I'm
gonna have to send you a reply. Give me... Give me a nature or medicine roll, Darvin.
I feel like I'd probably do this.
Okay. Darvin, that's a significant amount of blood. It's a lot.
I'd like to, rub my fingers on the blood on the canvas and, rub it between my fingers. Just if I can use that to gauge a guess on how long this blood has been out of said person's body.
You were already making a roll, and you're not sure.
Well, you know what? Let's go whole hog. I want to taste it.
So
I
you're
wanna
gonna
lick-
rub
I
something
wanna
between your
lick
hands,
the
and you're gonna
blood
lick it off your
Yes.
fingers. Okay. Give me your survival roll. And I need Hirome and Juniper to please give me active perception checks.
Oh, we're definitely gonna fucking die.
Oh, don't worry, I'm just snoring. It's fine.
Ivy's going to be the only one to walk away from this.
That was
So glad
very
the
good
grass
soup.
kept me safe.
Yeah, when Juniper sees him lick the blood off it, completely knocks her out of it. Immediate disgust. Just ugh.
Hirome, I need one from you too. Perception check.
Oh, I'm sorry, what am I rolling?
Perception check, please.
Normal.
Affirmative. I will send both of you a whisper because both of you noticed this.
I am not
as
extremely perceptive, but I'm perceptive enough.
as I'm licking my fingers, I'll be like, tasted that a couple times. Human blood. Can't be more than 2 hours old.
I'm just gonna look at you and be like, I had a spell for that, you know.
Why cast magic when you can just taste it?
You are a strange, strange little man.
I'm gonna continue to walk away, and you'll hear Atticus mumble something along the lines of, "Goddamn fucking humans."
With my facial expression intact, I'm going to like, have the shield and the axe kind of in one hand and holding the torch with the other. And as I am going to follow the drag mark after Atticus and Wilford, who I don't know is up there, but I do know is that direction. But because obviously there's some fun to be had.
Juniper and Hirome, what do you do with this recently found knowledge here? Fair enough. I got that whisper. That tracks. We'll have some stuff about that later. Are the two of you following after these people at this point to try to figure out what the fuck happened? Or are you staying here?
If Juniper follows them, I follow her.
Fair. Checks out the backstory. Fair. So what's Juniper doing?
Juniper kind of squints, looks at the tent, looks at the party members that have gone off to investigate this. Inhales. Seems to be doing some math or whatever in her head and says, "Nope, and goes back to her tent. She's like, She's like, I got a family to get home to, and that seems suspicious.
Okay.
If she's not going to follow them, I won't follow them, but I'm not going back to bed.
Oh,
Where are
Juniper
you
is.
going?
Juniper's
then?
going right back to sleep.
I'm just going to kind of sit in the shadows behind the tents and just watch them off in the distance because I have dark vision. So as soon as their torches get beyond 60 feet, I can still kind of watch them from a distance. Mostly doing as long as I can from the distance that I am, the whisper that I sent you.
Okay. And you're on the side of the crime scene tent, facing them, is what you mean by behind the tent.
Yes.
Okay. And then doing what you whispered me.
Mhm.
And as long as one of them has a torch out, like you don't, in dark vision doesn't matter. You see them.
Yeah.
It's only when that torch goes out that then you're locked into your max range. But yeah, fair enough. So we got the sleeping crew, the investigative crew, and the watcher.
I wouldn't have taken my armor off, but I'll make sure to go back and get my sword and then keep doing what I just said.
What do you mean you wouldn't have taken your armor off?
The leather armor, I wouldn't have taken it off. I'd have slept in it.
Oof. Are you sure that you want to do that? Because sleeping in armor causes you to not actually get rest.
So it doesn't really mention. Usually, it mentions how specific races sleep. Um, Even in humans, it says 8 hours. So how do kitsune sleep? Are we like elves or are we like humans?
You're like humans.
Okay. Then I will go back and put my armor on and grab my sword and then come back and watch them.
Fair enough. You got a super cheat mode for taking it off, but putting it back on is the time consuming part.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So you go boop, 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 do that, beep, 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 come back out here. As Twinkle Toes, Shield Man, and Action Your Face are checking out these marks. Twinkle Toes, why don't you go ahead and give me another survival roll for trying to follow this. I know you're trying to follow it, and actually, why don't all three of you give me survival rolls? If you're trained in survival, give me survival rolls.
Am I Twinkle Toes? Is that what I am now?
You are Twinkle Toes. Affirmative.
What? F that.
Only
Well,
if we're
this-
trained in survival?
No, you actively said that you were actively doing it.
Garbage anyway.
Wow.
Damn. Man, Darvin.
Happens.
Well,
Apparently the bells are annoying to me and Darvin, but Twinkletoes is unfazed.
He's used to it.
Atticus, you are spot motherfucking on with that torch, following the strange drag mark that you've heard the others talk about there being blood inside the tent. Like it's been loud. You heard Darvin go, human blood. Maybe he didn't think, but did mention that it was human blood, and he's had it at least once. But there's no blood on this trail, this strange dragging mark, because again, the grass is laying flat and facing a direction away from the tent. So you can tell something was dragged from, not that something was dragged to. Just because the grass is laying one way, not the other. And as you follow the trail through the grass, it stops at the wall that faces the way out. And as it stops, you're like at the wall and you're like moving the torch like up and around, and you look, you can see that there are claw marks on the side of the walls of something climbed up that had claws at least sharp enough to dig into the stonework.
Yeah, that's not fucking creepy. One bit. And
Give me
it
an
went up
active
over
perception.
the
The three of you, give me an active perception check, please.
That's more like it.
Darvin, the only one who notices this, as Atticus has that torch up, and all of you see the claw marks, but Darvin, you're the only one that notices that on the top of this wall, which is about 40 feet, the main wall into this place, because again, you guys are on that precipice of the land here. It's built against the side. You can see a leg hanging down from above.
Like a human leg?
Looks like a human leg.
Some kind of leg?
And there's no shoes on it. It's a bare foot.
I am going to, set down my axe and shield. And I'm going to get my rope out.
Okay.
And I'm going to attach, did I give myself one? Yep. My grappling hook to it. And I'm going to take one right out of the Cowboys book, and I'm going to lasso me a leg down from up there.
So you're getting you're going to use a grapple hook to basically try to get the hook to latch into the meat of the leg to pull it down.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm going to want a dexterity ability check.
Oh yeah, this can't go wrong.
It takes you 3 tries as you're trying to judge the distance. It's at the edge, even with the torch, kind of at the edge of your natural vision. So you're missed a couple times, then you get it, and you know it's in there. You pull, and that leg comes down. That leg is attached to a torso and nothing else. As you have, or not a torso, a waist. You have a waist, a bit of spine, and 2 legs that have come down. There's no top half of this individual.
Does it look like this guy's been eaten up, or torn apart, or hacked up?
Nature or medicine check if you're trained in either of those to figure that out.
I am not trained in either, but I mean,
I will say that the edges of flesh, as you are one who cuts, does not look cut. Give me an investigation roll. And what are the other two of you doing as he's just checking out this fucking half body?
Staring at the body, trying to figure out what happened to it.
Yes.
What are you trying to do to figure that out?
Well, I'm looking at it, seeing as Darvin's all like eyebrows deep in the torso. I don't want to get in his way, but I'm fucking curious what the hell happened to this thing.
I'm gonna poke it. You know, kind of with my foot, just kind of nudge it. You know, Atticus is just nudging it. Is it dead? Is it alive? What is it? Kind of thing. And I'll just turn and look at Darwin and manage to get yourself a butte there.
Are there clothes on the torso? Do I recognize the clothes as being someone from the group?
I mean, it came from your guys' tent area, so probably somebody from the group.
I won't lie. I was just about to like make a house level diagnosis thing with what you just sent me, and then I remembered I'm not that smart as this character.
Correct.
I was gonna be like, "What's the shape of the pelvis?" Anyway, well,
I suppose we should alert Zia.
whatever it was, can't tell what it is now, other than it was a human.
Well, I suppose we should probably drag it back to camp and wake up those that need to be woken up and show it to them. And I'll reach down and I'm gonna just grab the leg and
Okay.
drag it back to camp.
Okay.
Hey there, Bella. Let me help you out with that.
What are you gonna grab, Wilford?
The other half? I'll hold on to the spine if there's nothing else.
I mean, there's the other leg. You got the leg and the waist and a bit of spine still attached. Otherwise, it's just meat product and bone.
Yeah. I'll grab a spine or a leg, whatever's available.
Wilford, since you are more humanoid versus reptilianoid, you will notice that where the genitalia should be is gone. It's not there anymore, making it difficult to tell whether this was male or female. Like the pants are still attached, and that whole section has been removed in some way, shape, or form.
Worn out or cut out?
Give me a nature or medicine check. Are you trained? Hang on. Are you trained in either?
Medicine in nature? No, neither.
Then you don't know. You don't know what to look for to be able to identify any way, shape, or form of that.
There's no
Just
clothes
know that
on
some
this.
parts are missing.
There's no
besides
clothes
that.
on this. This
Just pants, just regular old pants.
pockets still.
Leather trousers, so no pockets.
Sad.
Scars, marks, tattoos.
I mean, are you deep pantsing the the waist and legs,
I
while
am not-
Atticus is actively holding onto one foot and walking back to camp.
I am not removing any clothing. I am just making observations.
You got what you got.
Gotcha.
Okay. So in that case, Hiromi,
Yes.
you were able, because of the torchlight, you saw Darvin throw something up a couple of times before finally pulling something down. Now when it fell, it was too quick for you to see what it was because you're not close enough.
Yeah.
You know that they were talking, but you don't know what they were talking about. And now they are actively walking back in your direction. You can tell based on how Atticus is walking that he's dragging something. And it doesn't take long before you realize there's a foot in his claw.
I'm gonna go wake up the big lady,
Which one?
the Goliath.
Okay. Easy enough to go and find.
That tent's hard to hide.
Yeah, that's tent. Easy enough to find that tent. Mostly because no matter what, it still smells like somebody's cooking. It's probably just like a perpetual smell that's just embedded itself in the canvas at this point. It's kind of smoky and seasoned. It kind of makes you hungry. But how do you wake up Zaya? What do you do when you get to the tent?
So is this tent like part of the wagon, or is it separate?
It is separate. It is not part of the wagon. It is a separate tent that is it's a fairly good sized tent. Like it's pretty big. Like when watching people put it together, it the center of it is supported by 3 posts. So a front, a middle, and a back. It's fairly large. It's probably more like a 4 to 6 person tent instead of one
said
person for
3
Juniper
posts.
or normal 2 people.
3 posts. Is it like kind of like a yurt or a teepee or?
Not like a teepee. Like a yurt. I gotta look
Like
at
a
what a yurt.
longhouse
More
type
like
thing?
more like a. I guess a yurt is pretty close. It's at least that
I was thinking
size.
a Mongolian yurt. Yeah. I'm gonna knock on one of the posts like I'm knocking on a door.
Knock, knock,
I am
knock it
not going
on.
in the tent,
That
and
is fair.
I am going to not shout, but speak normally. That you might want to get up. Something's happened.
It's not even 10 seconds as you say that. As the flap opens, and what not being pointed at you, but just being pointed out of the tent is a fairly large sword that is just being pointed out as Zaya is walking out. And this sword, it looks like it's kind of made of rock almost. The way that it's the like the texture of it is, it's kind of it's black. It's kind of a rock shape. You can tell that it seems to be a double-sided blade of some kind, and it's really great sword sized, maybe a little bigger because she's a little bigger, but she, as soon as you say what you said, she comes out for the first time that any of you have seen, armed with a weapon, and she puts it on her shoulder and looks to you and goes, "What?"
I'll just tell her what I have observed. Tent, the blood in the tent, and what I saw them do.
as she looks and scopes around, seeing that group coming back this way, because you guys had a couple of torches. She starts. She looks to you, and she has a very serious, stern voice as she looks at you and she says, "Make sure nothing happens to him."
I just nod my head.
As she walks towards the group with the fun leg. That's what we're calling it now, the fun leg. Darvin,
leg.
I need you to give me a investigation roll, please. You don't find anything new on
Okay.
your route back. What I will tell you is as you coil back up your rope and your grapple hook, the grapple has no blood on it. And you know it punctured flesh. You had to take it out of the leg to get it out. So that that's at least that part has been drained. There's also no splat of where it fell. No blood seemingly in that in any way, shape, or form. But as you follow along, Atticus, you can see that now there are, after probably somebody shouting, there are quite a few people, adventurers and mercenaries who are up. There are torches actively lit as Zaya is making their way over to you. And you guys meet right about at the tent in question, as I kind of think or assumed, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you would have gone back to the crime scene with the quarter body, the fun leg.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Well, that's where Zia meets you, and you guys, for the first time for you guys, see her with this massive black sword that looks like rock, has a strange texture to it. As she looks past you guys to just keeping a lookout, as she goes, What do you know?
Well, ma'am, I know that something took this something, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna lift and hold it up and kind of
Around a little bit.
Something took this something and did some things, and this was up on that wall, and there's some blood stuff there, and stuff. Because God, I gotta work in this fucking accent because I can't. I always words in my mind that I want to say, but I'm like, I don't know how to fucking say those. Tegan's so much easier, right? He's just an Irish drunk fuck. Comes naturally.
Who met two of his versions of Jesuses in the past 2 games.
He has.
Okay. So, seeing the body, or what's left, thereof, looking inside the tent and kind of seeing where you are talking about where you guys have come from, she looks to Wilford and to you, Darvin, as you guys are making your way. Is there anything that you guys want to add to what Atticus said? Or is that about the long and short of it?
Well, they're definitely human. Can't tell if they're male or female. Genitals have been mauled. Seems like all of the bloody action took place in the tent. No blood on my grappling hook, no blood on the wall, no blood on the ground. Doesn't seem to be any blood left in the leg. So whatever it was that killed them, seems it was quite thirsty.
How did this get on the wall that's, what, 40, 50 feet high? I can't jump that high.
Really? You can't jump that high?
Can you?
Well, no, man, but I'm not as tall as a cloud. I might recommend maybe doubling the watch for the rest of the night and, posting sentries and torches along the perimeter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, time to do roll call and see who we're missing.
You don't recognize anything, do you?
It looks like feet of apparently a human.
I came to that same conclusion. Well,
And this
let's
is
go
where
to
we're going
the
to end
human.
tonight's episode.
I'm going to chuck it back to the tent.
Fair enough. Chuck it back into that tent.
Oh, I'm done with this.